මොකද අලුතෙන් ජොයින් වෙන කෙනෙක්ට මේක දැන්
Hello, very good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Malka Kardiosam. I'm your host for the session 2 of YouCon 2.0. I'm sorry, day 2 of YouCon 2.0 for the morning session. I'm your host, Malka Kardiosam. So I do hope you all are doing fine in this perfect morning. And I must say, I think you enjoyed yesterday's session of YouCon 2.0. I must say, yesterday was on fire. So, ladies and gentlemen, before going on to our main content and everything, let me give you a small introduction about what YouCon really is. So, this is an international YouTubing and content creation conference, and this is a novel initiative by AIESEC in University of Sri Jayewardenepura in collaboration with the AIESEC in Chennai that brings together the youth and the professional YouTubers to formulate new ideas on YouTubing and content creation. YouCon Phase 1 was held last year on 18th December 2019 with the participation of prominent YouTubers and content creators of Sri Lanka. The event attracted a large audience, about 200, and turned out to be a huge success. So, ladies and gentlemen, this year YouCon hit the jackpot. We went international, and we are now. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is YouCon 2.0, and let's have a look at our partners. I'm really sorry, I was on mute. That's all. It's all about technical difficulty. These problems are happening with this. So we are moving on. That's our motto. We should move on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have some interesting topics in hand today. I mean, for you guys and everyone in this, I think there are some travel addict people. I think you will find this session is this session as most interesting. So we have some topics in hands as YouTube for travel enthusiasts, and also improving your presenting skills as a YouTuber. So before moving on to these questions, I have a personal question from you guys, and you can comment on the comment section, I guess. Yeah. So my question is for you guys, my personal question for you guys, for the viewers out there. And the question is, what were your experiences in traveling during last 3 months? What were your experiences in traveling in the last experiences during the last 3 months? You can comment below. And if you asked my opinion about my experience during last 3 months, it's simply like this. Okay, so it's mostly, you know, waking up early at 11 o'clock. Yeah, early at 11 o'clock, and wandering the house for like maybe until I go to sleep. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your comments on the comment box. I think we will have some interesting ideas about how did you spend your last 3 months. Just share your thoughts with us. So ladies and gentlemen, and moving on to our speakers here today, we have some interesting speakers who are locked and loaded to give you some interesting ideas. And I'm pretty sure, hello, I'll get back to you, sir. So I must say, after this pandemic ends, I'm pretty sure you all enthusiasts are locked and loaded to travel around your country, or maybe travel around the globe. So ladies and gentlemen, think of this session as an appetizer for your delicious meal of traveling. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our guest speakers in the show today, Mr. Pascal Basel and Ms.Elena Anikina and Mr. Siddharth Kannan. So I think we have Mr. Pascal Basel on the house. Sir, hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you clearly. So Mr. Pascal Basel, let me welcome you in the most Sri Lankan way. Let me greet you in the most Sri Lankan way by saying you Aiboan. Hello.
Hello.
So that's good. That's good. So do you know what this means? What does Aiboan mean? Do you have any idea about what does it mean?
I've not been in Sri Lanka yet. I was supposed to go this year, but then Corona came. Yeah. So I hope I learn it soon.
Okay, please count it. So this Aiboan means may you live longer. So as Sri Lankans, we wish you may you live longer, sir. So we have Mr. Pascal Basel. We have Mr. Pascal Basel, and he's a video creator, a photographer, and a digital nomad. So Mr. Pascal Basel, I have watched some videos actually of you, and they are very beautiful. You have a really good taste, I must say. You have captured very good sceneries and everything with your drones and everything. So let me ask you a personal question from myself before going on to the main topic. How do you find these locations, sir? How do you find these locations, these sceneries? How do you exactly find these things?
To be honest, I just go out all the time and I don't know what I see. Like, my biggest secret is to always go for sunrise. Actually, many people don't want to go anywhere with me because I always get up early to go somewhere. And my experience is that basically every part of the world looks good at sunrise. So it's pretty hard not to get a good shot then. Then, of course, there are like the usual tourist places, but I also use Google Maps. So I just zoom in very closely and look for areas where I think, okay, that could look good. Maybe here in Chiang Mai, where I am right now in Thailand, there are many lakes between the mountains, for example. It's something that I always see from the top. Okay, it could be good. So I just drive there in the morning and it's usually amazing. Sometimes also Instagram helps. Like you look for a city, then you look what people post, not at the top, because at the top is where everyone goes. But if you scroll a bit more down, then you find photos of places that could be nice. And sometimes they link the places. Otherwise you can ask them like where they went. So it's pretty cool. Also, when you meet local people, then this is also a good way to make some experiences.
Yeah, that's good, sir. And please do come to Sri Lanka. We have really good sceneries. We have really good sunrise. Okay.
I have a backpacking company for there, but well, Corona, so right now we can't do it, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, kudos to that told Mr. Pascal. So let's come to the business. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our viewers out there, so Mr. Pascal Basel is going to give you an insight about guide to use the technologies of GoPro and drone camera. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are a travel enthusiast, I'm pretty sure you need these technologies, right? GoPro and maybe drone cameras. because to capture the moment. Yes, so Mr. Pascal Basel, this virtual stage is all yours. Please do go on.
Okay, thank you. So at first I thought it's about travel YouTubing in general. So I prepared a little presentation where I go through my story and want to give you tips about what you can do to get started when you want to be a travel creator on YouTube, because it's kind of difficult. There are many people that do that. It's obviously something that people like. But in the second section, I also talk a bit about gear and why you should certain cameras, what's important, and so on. Let me just try to share my screen. It's a bit difficult because it blocks both of my screens, so I can't see myself anymore. Please give me feedback if you still see everything. Otherwise, I have to end the presentation. Okay. Just do it like that. Sure. Okay. So let me see how that works here. I think I have to use this screen. Share and play. So now you should. Okay, that did not work. One moment.
Yeah, okay.
I just do it without
for
the
a moment
playing
we saw your screen actually.
Yeah. But it doesn't work as expected. So just for a moment, I do it the other way.
Okay.
So just without the play button.
For a moment we saw your screen actually.
Sorry? Yeah, but the actual screen doesn't work like the presentation itself.
Okay, it's fine. I think it's clear.
Okay, so so how did it start for me? You already introduced that I'm also a digital nomad. So a few years ago, I started becoming a web designer after working in a factory in Germany, and I just wanted to get out there and travel. So after a few years, I made that happen, and I was so inspired by YouTubers. I also had a YouTube channel by myself before in another topic, and so when I started traveling, I directly thought of, okay, I should share that on YouTube. It's a great lifestyle, so I want to publish that somehow. And so I made videos all the time, and after some time I came back home. I had all the videos, but it was not like that I really thought about what kind of videos I really want to produce before. So then I was kind of stuck. I wanted to bring out a video, but didn't know what. So I thought myself, well, what would people want to see? And I started producing a travel guide about an island here in Thailand. It's called Koh Lanta. It was in German language, so it doesn't really make sense for you to see that. But then I first stopped, I uploaded the video, and for a few months I did not look on that. And then after a few months I thought, well, I published this video. Let's see how it does. So I got into the analytics, and I saw that I had, I think, what was it, 7,000-8,000 views, something like that. It's like, what? Really? How did that happen? So I think that's the first thing I think that many people do wrong at the beginning that I see that start in the travel niche. It is that they just try to publish a video where they just put in random footage together instead of actually providing value. Because, well, it might be entertaining to see a travel video of a certain place what is kind of valuable. But let's be honest, if you're just starting out, you're not that good of a videographer, and I was clearly not at this time. But the way how you can provide value in the first place is, let me just open the presentation here, is to offer some sort of information for people. So I've written that down here. You see, this is what I did. I did travel guides. I also published other travel guides later, which work good. Not too many, because I actually stopped entirely focusing on travel shortly after that. I will come to that later. And other thing, what you could, for example, do to make your travel videos interesting and make people watch them is to share tips about places and about travel in general, like how to pack smart, how to travel lightweight, and so on, stuff like that. What you could also do is telling interesting and or meaningful stories. So interesting stories, for example, let's say you go snorkeling or diving with sharks. I did that one time. I did not share a video about it, but I think it's pretty clear that sharing such a video where you share how you started, how you feel, and how you're a bit anxious maybe before. That's of course a cool story, that an interesting story that people want to see. So that's great. And by meaningful stories, I actually have a good example, because that's a bit more complicated. Jake Frew right now, he does a pretty cool, like he has a video, for example, I'll just see, I noted that here on my iPad. Following your dreams won't make you happy. It has 150,000 views already, even if it's not really searchable content. And this is also something like if you try to integrate meaningful stories in your videos, that can actually help a lot to make people actually watch it. Because let's be honest, if you just create a video like that here, like cinematic and inspiring videos, let's say something like Sam Calder does or Ben TK, then you obviously have to be a very good videographer. Otherwise, no one would watch these videos. I see many people that try to do the same as they do, but then it just doesn't look professional because they don't do it in the same way, and the transitions don't come out as good and so on. So that only really works if you have a ton of experience shooting and editing videos. Otherwise, that won't work. That's why I think for most people to get started, it's just better to focus on these 3 points here. Like obviously the first 2 points are the most easy ones, but that can also work, especially if you're a great storyteller. And yeah, that's what I also wrote here for you. Like if you want to get started as a travel video creator, be really brutally honest to yourself what you're good at and what not. Like for example, if you're a good storyteller, then you should probably focus on this type of videos. And maybe you can also incorporate some stories while producing travel guides. That's like, you can combine that. If you're a good cinematographer, like you already got a lot of experience, then of course you can try to do that, even if that is clearly the hardest way. And maybe you're a good entertainer. Maybe you're a funny person. You constantly make people laugh around yourself. Then why not travel and make people laugh while you show them your experiences? I think that's a great way. And not many people are good at that. Like probably the most famous one is Peter McKinnon. I think he's a pretty funny person, and that's why people watch this video. It's not just about that they want to know something about cameras or so on. It's really about his personality. And next thing, I think that also counts for many people is if you're a good teacher. Let's say it's easy for you to explain things to others, then you obviously should do that there. If maybe you know a place good, it mustn't necessarily be when you travel. It can also be when you're in Sri Lanka right now. It's a great country. I think tourism becomes more and more there, and you know the country better than everyone else. So you can make videos about your own country and share the stuff there. Like you can teach people how your country is, like what can they do there, or how to behave, what are the cultural differences that they need to know. So all of that stuff, like that's definitely content I think that's good for most people. So I think teaching is always something that's possible. Let me just check my notes. Do I have anything more for that? Yeah, and for that part, I must also say definitely start with searchable content. Like even if you're a good entertainer, if you make funny content, make sure that people can search for your videos. Because let's be honest, if you're starting out, no one knows your name. There's nothing special about you in that place. So why should they watch your video if it's not something searchable that they want to know? So I think that's really the best thing to get in there. Just look for search topics that people actually search. There are a lot of YouTube videos about it from Nick Nimmin, for example. It's actually a friend of mine. And then just keep it going, like base your topics on that. And yeah, so basically, let me just turn my SC on. It gets pretty warm here. So we were at this point where I saw that my video did pretty well, and that was also the point where I see that, well, I could do something on YouTube. And then I committed myself to produce at least one video per week. There were a few weeks over the past 2 years where I couldn't make it. In that case, it's totally fine. Just don't fuck yourself up. Like, just keep it going. If there's one hole in between, doesn't matter. And because I published one video every week, it was not just travel content, it was also a lot of content where I shared tips about cameras and so on. But just because of that, I got pretty good at videography, I would say. And I ended up shifting my channel over from exclusive travel content to travel and videography. Because what I thought for myself was I will not travel the rest of my life. And I wanted to have something else in my channel for that reason, so that even if I settle down one day, I still can keep my channel going. But today I would actually say that this was one of the biggest mistakes I did, because when I see other people like Lost LeBlanc, for example, and so on, it started similar like I did. They just kept it going. They didn't think about the future. They just kept it going. And to be honest, when I see now what possibilities come up when you just do it, then you can settle down one day, but it's enough if you travel just to maybe a handful of countries every year to get some content, or if you make more in-depth videos or tips videos about gear, then you have collaborations with brands and so on. So even if you entirely focus on travel, it doesn't mean that when you don't travel the world anymore one day that you need to stop. Like there's still things that you could do, and I didn't see that when I did that. But at the opposite side, I'm also happy that I did it, because like actually I love shooting videos, and it lead to a lot of other opportunities that I have right now, like shooting for companies. Also my YouTube channel now does very good. It's a lot of fun to show people how to use cameras, how to get good results, even if you have a consumer camera and so on. So I don't regret it completely, but just for yourself, if you're not sure if you should do it or not, just do it. Don't think too much about the future. It's more important that you consistent bring out content and that you improve over time. So I would say let's give you also some tips, especially technical tips on how to get started producing travel content for YouTube. My first tip here is really start with what you have. I think every one of you guys has a smartphone. Maybe you also have an action camera, or at least a weaker DSLR, and it is really totally fine. Like even when I published some of my first vlogs, I shot on an iPhone, what was it, 6S Plus or so. It's totally fine. What's much more important though, especially because you will likely, I switched the stuff here. Yeah, sorry. It's my first time that I do something like that. So especially because you start telling stories and give tips to people, what's much more important than the video quality is your audio quality. That's why my tip is that your first investment should always be a good microphone. I have some suggestions here, like the Video Micro or Video Mic Go. If you have a smartphone, and look for Video Mic Go. These are really good, solid and cheap microphones, but they have a good quality and they never break. They are rock solid. Everyone should have them. SmartGlove Plus, Saramonic SR XM1. It's very small, but good for wind protection as well. So that's great. And if you already have a DSLR, Video Mic Pro or Video Mic NTG, this is this one here, what I use right now. They are very good. So definitely before you think about upgrading your camera, think about the audio, because it's like when you want to get information and you can't understand anything, it's pretty bad. Also in your videos, don't make the music too loud. Like this is something that I see a lot from beginners. The music is just so loud that it's hard to listen to your voice, and that's a common mistake. Like generally, in my videos don't use background music, or I stop the background music when I talk because I think it's distracting. Maybe having a little bit of music in there is fine. It also keeps the viewer maybe a bit more engaging, but definitely don't make it too loud. Then second investment, a mirrorless camera. Like many people, when they start with their smartphone, they still want to keep it cheap and maybe want to get a GoPro and so on. And to be honest, GoPro cameras are great. I really love GoPros. Like I got pretty famous on YouTube because of my GoPro videos. But I think that an even better camera than GoPro is the mirrorless camera. Like I have the X-T4 here right now and the M6 Mark II. And these cameras are just more flexible because you can change the lenses. So let's say you want to have a GoPro look, then I would use this lens here, the 10 to 18 millimeters. It's super wide angle like GoPro cameras. If you want to shoot some B-roll footage where you get close to objects, you can use another lens. So that helps you a lot just to change lenses. And I think that makes it so more flexible. Like you can shoot a vlog in 1 second, then maybe by zooming in or changing the lens, you can get completely different footage. It's also better to attach microphones because let's be honest, when you have a GoPro vlogging rig, like to be honest, I only saw people that review this vlogging rigs that actually use this rigs, but I never saw a real vlogger using a GoPro with such a vlogging rig. Maybe there are some, but I never saw them at least. It's not really comfortable because you have this small camera and then this big video micro on top of it. I think it just defeats the purpose of this camera because a GoPro, when I film with GoPro, I have it in my pocket, I put it out, I press one button and I get the shot. So that's what the GoPro does for me. And I even do that on commercial work. Like sometimes when we're on group tours and I film them, I need a pretty stable shot, but I don't have a gimbal with me. Cool. Put the GoPro out, has the best stabilization ever, and I get the shot instantly. So that's great. Also, like the most important features why GoPros can be good cameras in some situations is 4K 60, stabilization. The colors are good. The overall image looks pretty good. So I think GoPros are are actually good cameras, but it's not the first camera that you should get if you want to produce content for YouTube. However, if you already have one, definitely make full use of it. You can perfectly vlog on a GoPro even with the internal microphone, as long as you stay away from wind. Like if it's windy out there, just hide somewhere, hide behind a wall or something like that, and you can perfectly vlog on that. And aside from that, you can perfectly film your trip. So it's actually still a good storytelling tool. Just normal mirrorless cameras make it a little bit better. I also noted a bit here what you should look for in such cameras. I think the most important thing is to have some sort of stabilization, not the most important, but one of the most important things. That can be digital stabilization, like here the M6 Mark II. It's a pretty cheap camera, I would say. And the digital image stabilization in here is actually very good. It's like you don't have wobbly corners or anything like that. It just looks good. Then of course, like this is the reason why I bought the X-T4. It's a bit more expensive. It's probably not a beginner camera, but there you have a stabilized sensor. So even when I shoot straight out of my hand, I have stable footage. It doesn't need to crop in. I don't lose quality or so on. So that's even better, but that's usually for cameras that are over $1,000 US. And yeah, I can understand if you just start out, you probably go for an M6 Mark II or so, but it's totally fine as well. You get good results. Then yeah, I mentioned that changeable lenses. Mic input, absolutely. Like again, audio is so important. So you want a mic input and you want to be able to check your audio. It's like over all these years where I produced YouTube videos, audio has always been an issue. Like I sometimes record a video for an hour and then I listen to it and I see that I hear that there are some audio issues and I can't publish it. So I can film again for 1 hour. This is the worst experience ever. So just before you record the actual video, record audio for 10 seconds, listen to it. Does it sound good? If yes, do it. Also always charge your batteries. Batteries are
sorry to interrupt you. So I have a question from myself. So audio, I guess, right? So is there any way to enhance the audio quality? Do you have some tips about that one?
Oh yeah, of course. What I do in every camera, I put the internal audio settings to the lowest input level as possible. Like here on the M6 Mark II, for example, 0 is where the audio is off and 1 is where you just slightly get a little bit of audio. And then I just ramp up the audio on the microphone itself. Like here on the NTG, I can control the output volume. And that makes sure that I get less noise in the background, because most of the noise that you hear in audio comes from the camera and not from the microphone. So by keeping the input levels as low as possible, you reduce the noise. However, when you have the video micro, for example, which is a good micro, but there you can't control the levels of the microphone. So in that case, you only have the option to attach the microphone and then ramp up the levels in the camera until it sounds good. So that's the only way to go then. But generally, if you have a microphone where you can control the output volume, just keep the input volume of your camera as low as possible, and it generally sounds good. Aside from that, just check your batteries. Really. Anything else or from your side?
No, please go. Okay, please go.
Sure. Yeah, then also some suggestions. Actually, the Panasonic G85, I just saw you can get it for $600 to $700 already. And this is actually a camera that I started with 3 years ago, and I shot a $3,000 commercial on this camera. And so now that you can get it so cheap together with the kit lens, I actually shot the commercial on the kit lens. Like people would laugh at that, but it's definitely possible because clients don't see the equipment that you have.
Yeah.
It's really, they just care about the final result. Yeah. So this is definitely a very cheap option. It has a stabilized sensor. It shoots great 4K, no 4K 60 though, but still 1080p 60 is enough. Canon M6 Mark II, I just recently published a review about that on my channel. It's a great camera, very good for starters. And if you really don't have much budget, but you really want to have such a camera, the M50 also is a very great option. There are like Potato Jet and so on, other YouTubers did videos about that. It's definitely a good camera for starters. And if you want to step up a bit, Panasonic G9, it seems like with the latest firmware upgrade, the autofocus got a lot better. And also, generally, the video features, you have 4K 60, a lot of 1080p options and so on. The autofocus is good enough for vlogging, so it's totally fine. I shot the GH5 2 years, but the autofocus definitely sucks in that camera. It's just not necessarily bad, because in video, you usually use manual focus, and you sometimes use autofocus just to set it quickly. And so this camera basically trains you a bit more to do that. Like with this camera, you definitely become a better video shooter. But on the opposite side, it's less convenient. So in that case, having cameras like the Canon EOS R, where the autofocus is really world class, is pretty good. And Fuji X-T4, which I use right now, is also autofocus is not as good as on Canon or Sony, but it's good enough for everything I do. What's also important when you buy a camera, think about lenses. Like, what lenses do you need to get? Inform yourself about crop factors and so on, because lenses can get very expensive. For example, on the Canon EOS R, it has, in my opinion, the best lenses ever, but they are so expensive that I actually stopped using the EOS R and switched to the Fuji, because the lenses are a lot cheaper, body is cheaper, everything's cheaper and more lightweight. So why should I keep the Canon? Same for Panasonic, lenses are a lot cheaper. So definitely think about lenses when you enter a camera system. And yeah, maybe also to give you some tips, lenses that you generally want to have for vlogging, you want to be between 50 and 24 millimeter, because that's like arm length where you still get good results. Problem though is when you have a camera like the M6 Mark II, the image crops in for the stabilization. So if I would use a 24 millimeter lens, then I'm already too close to my face. That's, for example, what the Sony ZV-1 right now has. It's a 24 millimeter lens fixed. It's a great camera, but it's not made for vlogging, because when you turn digital stabilization on, it's too close to your face. And then for normal shoots, a lens like that, this is on full frame, that would be a 24 to 82 millimeter lens, where there's a big zoom range. So at 24 millimeters, I can perfectly vlog. And on all the other ranges, I can shoot my B-roll footage. That's why I bought this lens. Then you have more like big zoom lenses where you can get very close to stuff, but that's more for birds or wildlife. But also when I film, for example, on markets here in Thailand, then I prefer to have a strong zoom lens, because when I stand directly in front of a person and I want to film the person doesn't act natural anymore, because they know that they are filmed. So if I stand maybe 30, 40 meters away and I have a zoom lens, then I can get a pretty good shot of that. Of course, you should not film people without asking if you can publish that. Just get the shot of the person, then go there and then show the person the shot and ask her if it's okay if you publish that on YouTube. I never had it that they were not okay. And if there's something weird in the shot that you already know the person doesn't want, then just delete the footage. So
it's great.
Then the third investments, like I know we all love drones. I'm a big lover of drones, but to be honest, a drone, it's not really a storytelling tool. It enhances your story, definitely. You can do some transition shots with it, but it's not a camera that you can really create a story with. And that's why I think that you first should invest in a drone after getting your other cameras, right? Like at least a mirrorless camera, maybe mirrorless camera plus action cam if you want to have something quick for in between. But first, after that, I would invest in a drone. If you want to get a drone, right now I use a Mavic Air 2 here. It is great. It's I would say the best drone that I ever had. The Mavic 2 Pro, obviously, I had it before. It's a bit better, but it's also bigger, so it's not that good for travel. And but aside from that, I also used the first Mavic Air before, and this is a great drone really for travel. Also, the Mavic Mini gives good results. You don't necessarily need 4K. It's totally fine if you publish in 1080p or 2.7K what it has. So if you want to travel really lightweight and you don't want to have all the restrictions that come with bigger drones, then the Mavic Mini is actually a great drone, because under 250 grams in most countries, you don't have to register that or apply to any other special rules. So you could just travel in the country and fly a drone, especially in the US. I think it's a very good thing to have that. And yeah, aside from that, the drones definitely give some good shots, but it's not that they do too much to your videos. So buy it at last. And yeah, like general tips, what I would generally tell you, doesn't matter what camera you use. All cameras are the same. If I use a GoPro, there's ISO and there's shutter speed. There's no aperture though, but on mirrorless camera, I have ISO, I have shutter speed, and I have aperture. On drones, I have the same settings. So these are all like the camera settings that work, how to expose your shots and so on. This is all the same on all cameras and drones. It doesn't matter what camera or drone you have. So that's why I think that an important thing, even more important than your camera, is to learn how to properly use a camera. Even if you buy a Canon M50 used for maybe $300, then use this camera and try to really get the best footage out of that. It takes time. It may take 1 or 2 years until you really get the very best out of it. But then you know it in and out. You know what shutter speed means, how it affects your image. You know aperture, you know ISO, you know it in and out. And then when you switch to another camera or you switch to a drone, then you will definitely get a lot better results instantly because you already know how everything works and it's all the time the same. It's actually sometimes when I get comments under my videos, people asked for specific cameras and how to do stuff. And sometimes it actually feels a bit overwhelming for me because I by myself know that it does not matter if you use this camera or this drone or another camera. It's like all the time the same. So guys, really learn about cameras. That will really improve the quality of your videos pretty fast. And you learn that not just by sitting in front of YouTube and watch videos, you learn that by going out. Really go out every day, go somewhere, go for sunrise, especially what I mentioned before. You will always get good shots there and just try stuff out. Try different apertures, different shutter speeds, try different lenses, and maybe also work with slow motion and so on. Like really do all that stuff. And sometimes like watch maybe maximum 1 or 2 YouTube videos per day. And then go out and apply those tips, like what the people talk about in the YouTube videos. Do it. Don't watch any other videos before, because then you're overwhelmed. You're out there and you have so many ideas that you end up doing nothing, or you just do the same that you always do. You always want to try something new, so do that. But at the end, it's like a gym. Repetitions. The more you go out, the more you shoot with your camera, the better you get at it. Also, light is very important. Like sunrise definitely gives better results. You can't get the same results over the day. And when in the studio settings also, if you can control the light, you can have the cheapest camera on the planet and you will get very good results, because when you control the light, you control the image. It's really like it is. Yeah, that's
and also I have a question again from you, sir. So when you interact with the drones, right? So you are a drone professional, if I say that, okay? So
yeah.
how many years or weeks do you spend on learning? I mean, learning how to handle the drone. How much time does it take, like, for you, sir?
I would say it's more about how many drones does it take, because it's likely to crash. I would say until I got to a level where I flew very good was about a year, but in this year I did not fly every week or day because I obviously crashed drones. I would say about, if you really fly maybe 3 times per week at least, I would say within half a year you get pretty good. But you definitely need some money there, because especially like flights that I do is flying close to objects, for example, and it obviously makes it more likely that I crash my drone. So if you can't afford to buy a new drone, don't do that. Stay away from objects. Be aware of your sensors. Like when you do object tracking, for example, most drones don't have side sensors, so it will easily crash by the side. So that's often an issue. If you really want to become good, save some money for a second drone before. And it's definitely better to start with a Mavic Mini, for example, because if you crash that, like for the price of 2 Mavic Minis would be 1 Mavic Air. So it's better to crash 2 Mavic Minis. There you will learn more than crashing 1 Mavic Air. Obviously, also stay away from cities, stay away from people, stay away from airports when you train. That can also be very dangerous. And always in quiet settings where you're not stressed or anything like that. I see so many people when they hand catch their drones that they cut their hands. That only happens when you're not used to doing this and you're in a stressful situation. But when you train it in a situation where you have no need to land the drone right now, where you can really take your time, then you learn it. And when then comes a stressful situation, like being on a boat and flying from there while it's driving, I did that already and it's pretty hard. Then you're automatically more calmed and you make it without cutting your hands. So definitely train in calm settings. So important.
Okay, sure.
And so also, I think many of you guys are interested in making money, of course, with that drone, especially when you travel. I mean, you on one side want to reduce the cost of travel, and obviously it's also nice to make some money while you travel. So what you can do, you can film for hotels, for example. You can ask local tour providers if you can make a video for them. That mustn't necessarily be that they pay you. It can oftentimes also be that you just get a free stay at a hotel for maybe 3 nights, or that you can do a tour for free, and therefore you film the tour and you share a video with them. Like, these are actually very good ways to keep the cost of your travels down. Definitely helped me when I started. And aside from that, if you can bring it to a level where you make money, where businesses actually pay you for that, then that opens a whole new set of opportunities, because you can reinvest this money into new gear. Let's say you start with a Canon M50, which is definitely enough to produce some social media videos for companies that look good. And maybe a company pays you $500 for that, and you can use this $500 not to buy stupid stuff like maybe some ice cream or so. No, you better use it or save this money to invest in a better camera later, maybe go in this section here and so on. So always try to reinvest that money. I did that for years. Like my video business, it did not make money for over 2 years, like no profit, because I used the money all the time to buy new gear and to buy online courses and so on to improve myself. And that's what the message that I want to share you here. Like, don't try to make money. Try to reinvest all the money that you make, at least in the first 2 years, just to learn everything. Yeah.
And also, Mr. Pascal, it seems like we have a limited time. So I think so give me 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so we have some kind of a difficult, we have a limited time. So we have some, can we move on to some questions from the audience? And can we
let's do questions. Yeah.
Can we conclude after that? Is it okay?
Yeah, sure.
So we have a question from the audience asking from Mr. Rajita, I guess. So he asks, while making travel videos, is the vocal narration necessary, or could we do with subtitles? What is more interesting?
I mean, you can do it with subtitles. I never saw someone that did only subtitles, to be honest. But I think it's not that good, because like when you, let's say the subtitles are at the bottom, then you're always focused on the bottom and you don't really focus on the picture. So it's definitely better to hear it. It's also nicer. But what I sometimes do, I give context in my videos by inserting some text in the middle. Like you have a voiceover, you talk about something, and then sometimes it doesn't feel right to say it. So in that case, I just put a word in the middle. So I would say you can do a mix sometimes, but I would not only do subtitles. Maybe if the question is maybe your spoken English is not good enough or so, then it could make sense. But maybe you can also ask a friend of yours that speaks better English if he can speak that for you, and you can insert that as a voiceover or something like that. Just look for opportunities. And yeah, also what I'm not a native English speaker. I'm from Germany. I can also say that your English gets a lot better when you do it a lot. Like when I started on YouTube, my English was much worse. It's still not perfect, but I improved so much just because I hear myself speaking English every week. So I would say just get started, do it. And if your first video sucks, who cares? Like everyone's first video sucks. It's totally normal, and just be fine with that. So if that's the question behind it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Pascal. It's been a wonderful morning with you. And yeah. So we have. I'm real sorry. We will direct you the questions from the audience as well to you directly, and we will give them the answers. The question is, we have limited time here, so I really hope you have some very interesting things.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe you have very interesting things, and you have enlightened us with all your guide to use the technologies of GoPro and drone cameras. So thank you very much, and please visit Sri Lanka in the meantime. So bye-bye. See you.
See ya. Thanks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so we are, before moving on to our second speaker, so we have our partner video from Nakshatra Wedding. So let's watch it.
Hi guys, I'm Shweta from Nakshatra Weddings. I hope you're safe at home and doing really well. Well, today I'm going to talk about a challenge that is brought by Nakshatra Weddings called World's First VJ Challenge. So guys, this challenge is open to all. Even if this is your first YouTube video, you can still participate. And the best part is you can participate from any country you belong to. So all you have to do in this challenge is make a video related to weddings. And the video that will get the most likes will win a prize of 25,000, and we also have some consolidation prizes. The video can be of any genre, that we will leave it up to you. But please remember that the video should contain a mention of Nakshatra weddings and also should encourage the audience to subscribe our channel. Guys, there's one more good thing, and that is you can send as many videos as you want. There is no limitation in the number of videos that you can send us. Now, for the duration of the video, it should be at least 6 minutes. And if you're making it in any other language apart from Hindi, Tamil, and English, then you have to send us the subtitles of the video that we can upload along with the video. Guys, also, you have to send us the thumbnail, keywords, description, and other details in a Google document so that we can add it while uploading the video. The video should not be uploaded on any other social media sites till 31st August, and also once the video is sent to us, it becomes our property and only Nakshatra Weddings will have all the rights to play the video. Now for the main part. The video should not contain any vulgar or sarcastic comments and should not offend any public figure or any other person in general. And most importantly, it should not have any copyright content. We have a jury that will be making the decision of which video should be rewarded. And if you have any doubts, my number's on the screen. You can give me a call for any kind of clarification. The submissions are starting from 8 July and will be there till 31st July. And the results will be announced on 15th of August 2020. So this is a great chance for all the YouTubers and influencers out there to show your talent and win a big prize. You can send this video directly to me through this email ID, and my number is on the screen as well. If you have missed anything or have any doubts, then this video is also available on our YouTube channel. So you can go to our YouTube channel Nakshatra Weddings and see the video, and please also subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you soon with all your videos. Bye guys.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Nakshatra wedding. If you're planning your wedding, there's a chance. Okay. So, moving on to our second speaker on YouCon 2.0 morning session. So, we have Ms.Elena Anikina, Miss Gorgeous. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm super good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So, let me greet you. Aiboan. Welcome to YouCon.
Ayubowan.
There you go. So I hope you are in Sri Lanka at the moment.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, that's great. So let me ask you a question. So what do you think about Sri Lanka? So give us a brief introduction.
I love this country so much, and I'm so happy to stay here like 4 months already. This year, 4 months. So beautiful nature, so kind people. It's just amazing.
Yes, we are. So, Miss Elena, you'll be talking about with us, and yes, before that, Miss Elena, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Elena is an interior designer, digital nomad, and travel vlogger. So, Miss Elena, you're going to give us tips for travel YouTubers, and we have a great audience at the moment right now, and they are thrilled in their sight to get tips from you. So, this stage, all yours. Please do go on.
Okay, thank you so much. So I want to say that originally I'm from Ukraine, but now I stay in Sri Lanka. And I will say again that it's a beautiful country and I'm really happy to be here. And now you invite me to this conference. It's just like amazing for me. So thank you so much again. I travel Asia like last 16 months and I travel as a digital nomad. So that's why the channel on YouTube exactly about digital nomad lifestyle. And actually, I do an interior design for living. That's how I'm able to travel Asia. So actually, I started to run YouTube channel around 1 year ago. And we did it with my partner, who is actually already YouTuber in Turkey. So that's why I learned a lot from him. Yeah, we had some background, and we use it very well. But anyway, when you are starting your YouTube channel, you can have some stages and changes. So first of all, we started this channel in my native language. It was in Russian language. I'm from Ukraine, but speak in Russian. Yeah. And we were thinking to share just experience of our travel. Then we decided to switch language to English because we meet in our travel a lot of people, and you want your friends be able to see that too. So English was matching us better. Next stage, we decided to go also more specific, and like because we travel different countries, then different cities, and we change a lot of houses. And since I'm an interior designer, we decided to do house tours. Okay. So in each city, yeah, we go to different houses. It's also like give different vibes of different countries, cultures, but it focused kind of closer to my profession, which I was passionate with. Okay. Yeah. And now we share kind of digital nomad lifestyle plus house tour. So this is what about our channel. So now I would like to share with our audience tips based on my experience, what they could focus if they just start. Sure. So first of all, you need to don't expect anything, because YouTube, it's a long run project. Yeah, it could take a year like of your hard work, so you really need to love what you are doing. So it needs to be exciting for you. Yeah. Next step, it's about feelings. So if you are doing travel vlog, you need to understand that your audience will watch you because they are dreaming to travel. So they want to feel so much, they can't go, but they want to feel from your YouTube channel, how does it feel like, yeah? And that's why it's so much important that you will have that feeling. You will be really excited and comfortable with that topic which you are sharing with your audience. In this way, you will have a good contact, and it will work perfect. People will trust you. Next thing, you should be specific. So for example, traveling could be so different, right? I'm as a digital nomad, I travel slow. So it calls like a slow travel. So because we're working on the way, we need to focus on our projects, and we change countries actually 1 month, 2 months, or even 3 months later. So we stay in one country and we give some content of that country. But a traveler could be like a backpacker, it could be cycling, it could be on motorbike, it could be travel by walking. So this will be your niche. You need to understand clear what exactly you will give, which feeling. So that will be first, identify your niche. And next step, you can go deeper, kind of find niche of your niche. For example, like we did, like we found house tours, right? Like we're traveling, but we show house tours. For example, you can be curious like how local lives in different countries, and you can go, for example, for houses and share stories of people, like an idea. And it will give diversity for your channel. You will be interested in that, and at the same time, your audience will know what to expect of your content. So also you can maybe share like food experience. Maybe you are passionate of different food, and you will be like a food travel blogger. So this is really important to identify what you are passionate with, and then people will know what to expect and what to see on your YouTube travel channel.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have questions from the audience as well. So they're asking let me direct you. Yeah. So Mr. Kumar Ajit, he's asking from you, how did you grow your YouTube channel? Share some tips in brief. He wants to know how did you grow your YouTube channel. He wants to ask you how did you grow your YouTube channel.
So the most important in YouTube is consistency. So this is the key. If you keep your consistently, especially if you are just starting, it's the best to start to make 2, even maybe 3 videos a week, and don't miss those sharing. So will be great for you to do that. And you need, it's better also to keep time, like similar timeline. For example, if you decided to make 10 minutes videos, keep around that timing. So this will keep statistic on YouTube good, and you can grow like that. If you decided to make something shorter, it's also okay, but keep always like one timeline and always consistent.
Okay, that's great. So we have another question from the audience, and so they're asking, how do you engage with your audience? How do you engage with your audience, and how do you come up with new content? So those two. They're asking, how do you engage with your audience?
Actually, to engage, we use like different social media too. For example, we have Instagram. We talk in a community with our people. We try to ask our audience some questions when we share video. So it's really important to keep them engagement with you, because they need to feel like you are with them. Yeah, it's really important. So all type of social media helps in that. Yeah. And one more question.
Yes, there are actually a few more questions. They want to ask you a lot of questions from you. Let me filter them. Okay. So they're asking, how do you come up with new content, and how do you find inspiration?
Inspiration.
Yeah. Yes.
That's exactly about that first topic, that you need to find something which exciting you. So, for example, I'm passionate of interior design, yeah, and that's why it's always interesting for me to go to new house, to new apartment, and see how does it look like. So, if you will pick exactly niche which make you excited, you will be always inspired by that. But if you will choose some topic which interested other people but doesn't interest really you, you can have a bit trouble to find inspiration.
And we have Mr. Aparajit asking from you, apart from YouTube channels income, how do we earn if we get into travel vlogging full time? Apart from YouTube channels income, how do we earn if we get into travel vlogging full time? So Mr. Aparajit's questions for you.
Yeah, of course, YouTube is not just an amazing tool to share your experience, but also you can make money. It can become your profession. So actually, like, you need to be a bit patient, because YouTube needs like you to reach some certain amount of minutes view or hours view. And when you reach that amount, you can earn money from YouTube ads, so from advertisement. And for example, there exists like a rule: if you have video more than 10 minutes, that means that you can put there are several types of advertisement, like maybe 4 or 5 advertisements. And exactly when your videos viewed by audience, they watch advertisement, and in this way you are making money. Yeah, but it takes really a big time. Like, even I am like 1 year already on YouTube, but exactly that advertisement, I don't do too much money, because I make short videos. I make 5 minutes videos. So I was not focused exactly make money there.
Okay.
Yeah, but Also, you can actually collaborate with the companies and do advertisements special for them. For example, 1 minute talk inside your video. And by these sponsorships, you can make actually money every month. So there are 2 types of making money.
Yeah, great. So we have another question. This is from Faisal Sheikh. Asking from you, how do you increase your subscribers? Give some tips for beginners. How do you increase your subscribers? So they're asking for some tips for beginners.
So actually YouTube is like an exceptional and great platform to make growing your audience naturally. Actually, I never use anything like to pay for advertisement to promote my channel. So if you keep consistently, as I mentioned, 2 or even 3 videos a week, and you don't give a break, yes, it's a hard job. You need to understand that it's not so easy. But if you love it and enjoy, you keep consistently, you don't give a break. You need to share 2, 3 times a week, like maybe half a year, 1 year. In this way, your audience will grow and grow naturally. YouTube will start recommend you. So this is the key. Like I never use anything like pay to advertise my channel. So this will work.
Yeah, great. And so we have an interesting question from Kavindu Vijay Sekara asking tips on facing the camera. Tips on facing the camera. Do you have any tips?
Actually, everything by trying. When I was just starting, I was so bad, I can say. Like, I was like, I couldn't talk naturally. I couldn't like act so much. My English was not perfect actually. But if you keep trying, if you keep doing that, practice, practice, and practice, you will become better.
Great, great. So we have another question. I think you are having very good questions and a lot of questions. I think they are very interested in you, I guess. So, so Deshani Surya asking from you, what kind of a camera you use to maintain the quality of the video? What kind of a camera you use to maintain the quality of the video? So, any thoughts about that?
Yeah, actually, we have 3 types of cameras. We use GoPro. It's an action camera, and actually this one will be the best for you to start travel vlog because it's like automatic. You don't need to learn too much settings. It will be updated wherever you are. It's so easy to carry with you, and actually quality is pretty good one. One just tip, you need to be focused on a sound because it's very important for your video sound. So you need to be careful and or be loud, or you can buy also some microphone that will give feelings to your audience. So audience can be okay with a not super best quality picture, but your sound really needs to be good. If you will have some problems, they can just leave your video and go out. Also, we have some Sony camera, like more professional for film making, and drone camera to make like to fly and make beautiful natural shots. Yeah. But you can start definitely with a GoPro. It will be perfect.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, another question this is from Akit. What are the best no copyright songs we can use for traveling videos? What are the best no copyright songs we can use for traveling videos? Yeah, any thoughts about that? Any no copyright songs?
Yeah, definitely. This is really important. And you can't monetize your videos if you use someone's songs. For exactly my channel, I use a website called Epidemic Sound.
Epidemic, right?
Yeah, Epidemic Sound. So you pay there monthly. Like it's different, like it depends how much audience you have on your channel. You pay some fee every month, and you can use any music from that website and have no problems. and monetize your videos.
Okay, great. And we have a question from Rita Prava, yeah. Can we film quality content using only your phone, and how? Can we film quality content using only your phone, and how?
Yes, it's a great question. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, the best that now our phones are pretty good one. I can say you that I'm using now iPhone 5s. It's a bit old one, but still I was able to make some video content just by that phone. So
Great.
you definitely can do that. There exist now some apps, actually application for your phone where you can make settings like on a professional camera. So you can do a lot of things with your phone, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So let me check if we have another questions from the audience. Do we have? Yes. One question, another question from Amanta. Do you record sound and video separately? They're asking, do you record your sound and video separately?
It depends, actually. You can go just like you can use your microphone or without microphone, but be sure that there is no distraction behind. But also exists a way to make separately. For example, you can make voiceover. For example, you shot some footage and you had not the best sound, so you can be creative in this way. Make a story, make a script, and make voiceover. So you will make voiceover and show anything you want, you are talking about just behind. So that could work perfect, sound will be perfect, and you can do it.
You can, yeah. And we have an interesting questions. I think, interesting question. How do you respond to negative comments you receive and still keep up the motivation? How do you respond to negative comments you receive and still keep up the motivation?
Yeah, this is perfect question because every creator have that. It's normal.
Yeah.
And the best will be when you don't react on it, like don't care. There will be always such people. They have their own reasons to do that, and actually, it's not your problem. It's their problem. So to be honest, I react. I just keep it. I never answer it. I just keep it and move on.
Move on. That's great. That's great. So I think we have. We have another question. This is from Mahita. What was your first experience as a travel YouTuber, and how was the response from the viewers? How was your first experience as a YouTuber, and how was the first response from the viewers?
I think the very first video was created like it was like small my story how I started to travel. So I met my partner. I mentioned like I travel with him. He's from Turkey. How we met and how we decided to travel. And actually we started our travel last year exactly from Sri Lanka. So it was yeah, it was really exciting. It was, I think, 2 minutes video. And I was so happy. I don't remember, was there too many views or not? I was just happy to see that, and was excited to see the world and share that. That was my first experience.
That was great. So, Ms.Elena, I think, I think we are done with our questions. So, as let me check. Okay, so yeah, we are done with the questions. So thank you very much for joining us on the YouCon 2.0 on our morning session. It's been an absolute pleasure joining with you. So Miss, yes, of course. So Ms. Elena Anikina, we wish you good luck for your future endeavors and enjoy your stay here in Sri Lanka. Bye-bye. See you soon. Bye. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so we have come to actually the the end. We are coming to the end actually. But before that, let me introduce you our next speaker. And I must say, this speaker, you are going to enjoy this session, because our next speaker has some interesting offer for the. Is going to give you an interesting offer. So, Mr. Siddharth Kannan, SDV radio host and MZ and social media sensation, and joining all the way from India. So, ladies and gentlemen, do we have Mr. Siddharth Kannan on the house? Do we have Mr. Siddharth? Okay. Anyway, so moving on, we will get Mr. Siddharth soon to YouCon 2.0. So as I was saying, this session is going to be kind of like a Q&A session. So we have some questions, and so he's going to talk about improve your presenting skills as a YouTuber. Now, you may be some pro in editing and everything, and maybe going traveling and looking for good sceneries. But if you're not a good presenter, I mean, how you can't? I mean, if you can't express your feelings for the people, so you need to have some set of skills to do that. So we have them. So we have a special offer from Mr. Siddharth Kannan for you, and it goes like this. This is going to be a Q&A session. We are going to select 3 viewers who ask 3 best questions. So we are going to select 3 viewers who are going to ask 3 best questions, and they will be gifted with 3 valuable courses worth 12,000 rupees each, and they are going to get a chance to be a part of Mr. Siddharth Kannan's Voice Grooming Academy. So you can see on the screen right now, Grooming Academy, the voice power. So ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to put your thinking hats. Okay, now use your analytical brain to ask these beautiful questions. And if you don't ask these questions, let me remind you, someone will, and someone will grab that prize. So what do you feel after that? So ladies and gentlemen, grab on your thinking hat and put it, and let's start the Q&A session. So it seems like Mr. Siddharth Kannan is here. Hello, sir. How are you? Are you doing fine,
brother,
sir?
brother, how are you, my friend?
Cheers, sir. So I want you from Sri Lanka. So we hope you are doing fine, sir.
I love Sri Lanka, and a big thank you to all the friends from all across the world. I want all of you to put your hand like this, okay? Okay? And do a victory wave. Come on, do this. Yeah. This is for content creators. This is for a happy world, a peaceful world.
Yes.
Here goes. Let's do this. Malka, what's going on, my friend?
Now, yeah, so we have some interesting questions for you. Okay, so they know about your offer, and they're psyched to ask questions from you. So let me, is it okay if I shoot you the questions right now? Is it okay?
Go for it, my friend. It's your thing.
Is it okay if I shoot you?
Everyone, let's just keep it free-flowing. Let's have fun. Thank you for watching in. All of you out there who are content creators, express, be free. Let's rock and roll. Come on.
Okay, so the first question, we have the first question on the house. It's from Iroma Atukorla, and he or she, I'm not sure. Okay, so anyway, they're asking, how important are presenting skills to a YouTuber? How important are presenting skills to a YouTuber? Sir, you go on now.
All right, Iroma, thanks so much, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're safe. Presenting skills are very important, because at the end of the day, that's what makes your personality. That's what makes you who you are. That's what makes people who watch you, relate to you, follow you. But remember, when you're talking about presentation skills, you have to make sure it's very authentic. You have to be very real. Just because you're creating a YouTube video, just because you're creating content does not mean that you become very different in real life. And when you come in front of the camera, you become something else. Unless and until you're playing a character. So remember, presentation skills are very important. How you talk, how you pause, how you modulate your voice, how you look at the camera, your body language, what you say, all has to be very important. And at the same time, you have to be real, because when the viewer is watching you, he knows whether you're faking it or you're actually being who you are. You got my point, Iroma?
Yes. So thank you, Mr. Siddharth, and we will move on to other questions. So ladies and gentlemen, I reminded you yesterday, YouCon was on fire, and we are going to double the fire with Mr. Siddharth Kannan. Okay, so moving on to the next question from Mr. Chatu Rodrigo. How do I know what topics are going to be of the greatest interest to my audience? How do I know what topics are going to be the greatest interest to my audience? Yes, sir, go on.
All right, Chatura, how are you, my friend? Full power to you. All right, remember, you know all the trending topics, all right? You know the trending topics. You get onto Twitter, you get onto YouTube, you get onto Instagram, you get onto any platform. You will certainly get to know what are the trending topics. But what is important is, what is a topic that interests you? For me, I love chatting with people. So I started my chat shows on YouTube, which with your support, I've crossed 135 million views, 600K subscribers, which is more than 500,000 subscriber base. I love talking to people. I'm fearless in my approach. I wanted to get Indian film industry stars, politicians, corporate icons, COVID warriors on my show and decode them, because that is my strength. I love talking to people. I love being fearless. I love asking questions which people don't otherwise dare to do that. I also bring in fun elements of my personality. The important part here is, Chatura, remember that trending topics are very, very important. But today, for example, if say a cricket match or a football match is trending, but if you don't know anything about football, if you don't know anything about cricket, and you're deliberately creating content so that you can be a part of the trending list, no matter what happens, you're not going to trend, my friend. Reason being is, it's not a topic which you know of. It's not a topic which is close to your heart. So follow trending topics. If you're an opinion maker, for example, you have a show where one day you're talking about food, one day you're talking about football, sports, one day you're talking about friendship, then you're a well-read person. So you read a lot, and then you end up giving your opinions on it, taking opinions from people. Maybe you do a comedy gag on it. Maybe you do serious conversations about it. That's up to you. But do not follow trends because you have to. Make your own conversation trendy. Make things that you said becomes a trend-worthy statement, which means if you like talking about books, talk about books. And if it's good, it'll trend on its own.
Okay, thank you. I hope Mr. Chatu Rodrigo got what he needed. So moving on, we have Mr. Vikum Vijay Kong, and he's asking, how many times should you rehearse a speech? How many times should you rehearse a speech? So, Mr. Siddharth, what are your thoughts about that?
All right. What's up, my friend? Thank you so much for sending this question in. That is a very, very important question. Okay. One is, when you're creating content on YouTube or digital platforms, remember, you got to keep your pointers down. You write your point and then you elaborate on it. All right. Which means you're improvising. You're adding your own two elements. Now, sometimes when people write down a script, what happens is they sound as if they're reading it out. And when they read it out, the viewer, the audience knows you're reading it out. It doesn't seem natural. It doesn't seem as if you're speaking for the heart. So the best way to do it is write down points and then have your flow, move from point A to B to C to D. Also, if you're writing down your speech, rehearse it once, rehearse it twice, but don't rehearse it so many times that it seems that you've lost the feel. Sometimes you rehearse a speech so many times, then when you're actually about to say it, you yourself lose interest. You yourself sound as if you by-hearted the script. You yourself don't have the excitement to say it. So sometimes too many rehearsals are not very good too. Rehearse it once, rehearse it twice, rehearse it till the point you feel confident, and rehearse it to a point that you feel you're going to enjoy saying it the fourth time. If you yourself say, oh my God, I've said it 3 times, now I'm getting bored, trust me, everyone around you is going to get bored, including your YouTube fan following of viewers. Got it, my friend? I'm sure you got it.
Great, great. We are having a special treat today. Okay, so we have Malisha Randunu. I think Malisha. Anyway, Malisha Randunu asking, what is the best way to start a presentation? What is the best way to start a presentation, sir?
Malisha, what a question. One victory wave to you. I like this. You know, Malisha, the world starts with a PPT. The world starts with a PowerPoint presentation. The world starts saying, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My topic of conversation is so-and-so. So here is my first slide. And how about not starting by taking your name? How about just starting with a quote? How about just starting with an action, like saying, hey, everybody, I request before we start my presentation, I want all of us to feel on top of the world because you are here to do better. Let's do a victory wave. Are you ready? And then you start, because you've got to make sure when you come in with a presentation, when you come with slides, you have to make sure the audience is excited to watch you, because they would have seen presentations before you, they would have seen presentations after you, or they're going to see presentations after you. So in that situation, they already got viewer fatigue. Their mind is tired because they've seen so many presentations. But imagine if you're the first presenter or the last or the middle presenter, start with something which is quirky. Start with something which is out of the box, which could be a quote. Give an example, like this morning in my Voice Power online class, I had a creative director from an agency, and he says, whenever I do presentations, people are bored, they don't listen to me. So I gave him an idea. He's a creative director. I told him, how about starting like this? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I am going to keep my door open. I'm going to keep my door open all my life. You know why? Because any one of you who's got an idea can walk into my cabin at any point of time and bounce it off me. My doors are open, my mind is open, my heart is open to your ideas. So who's got the first idea? Now, he could have started saying, good evening, gentlemen. You know what? Today we're going to talk about ideas. So here are some presentations that I want to show you of new ideas that everyone does. If you're talking about ideas, start with an idea. He just said, open your door. And I did that with him in my Voice Power Academy at 8 a.m. in India time. And would you believe, at 12 o'clock, his presentation started at 11 o'clock. At 11:45, he said, I have become closer to the employees in my organization. I've become closer, and now they're giving me more and more ideas. So start with something unique. Start with something which is not the regular realms of what people do. All right? By the way, Malka K, I like your jacket, which you borrowed from your neighbor. It's looking good.
I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
I said,
sorry,
I love your
sir.
jacket, my friend. I said, I love your jacket. Have you borrowed it from your neighbor, or is it yours?
No, this is fine. This is fine. Totally mine. It's getting hot here, and I'm getting chills all.
You're a hot guy.
So we are moving.
My friend.
Yes.
All right. What's the next question?
Okay, we have a question from Jitmi Samodya, and she's particularly asking, how do I start a speech with an icebreaker? How do I start a speech with an icebreaker? So,
okay, Jitmi Samodya, hello. So like I told you, how did I start today with each one of you in your program? I started by coming and say, hey, give me a victory wave. And that's what you did. I want each person who's watching me right now, I can watch you too, all right? Give me a victory wave. Come on. Let them start with a victory wave. Let them start with a quote. Let them start with a unique energizer. For example, energizer could be everybody. Come on. In a virtual world, you can do everybody. Come on. Give me a high five. Come on. High five, high five, high five. Come on. Do this. It's as simple as that. Do things which are very basic. Things which are very simple, because people relate to simplicity. People relate to things that they've done somewhere in their lives, and you're making them do it. Like when I made them do high five, Malka K, my friend, my elder brother, actually ended up giving me a high five. Make people do high five. Make people maybe do a chant. For example, hey, give me a yeah. Make people, for example, if you're talking about fashion, if you start doing something about fashion, maybe you can start saying, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, this yellow jacket that I'm wearing, actually, it was gifted to me by my neighbor's wife. But
Great.
you know what? And that's it. You just start. And when people say, neighbor's wife, where did that come from? And then you say, you know what? I was never a great fashion person. I never knew what to wear, how to wear, nothing. And one day she saw me in the lift. And mind you, she saw me in a lift and not in a house. And she told me, you know what? I think you need to dress better. And she WhatsApped me some fashion designer's number. And after that, I got in touch with the fashion designer, started wearing something like this. So you can start like this. Visit with saying, you know what? I have a fashion tip for you. And my tip is you should wear bright colors. No. So start with things that are close to your heart and start with things which are very, very simple. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great. So we have Nadika Kumari, and she's asking, when I'm in front of a big crowd or just with the camera in my room, still stage fear kicks in. So how do I reduce my stage fear even more and continue talking without my hesitation or awkward moments? So, Siddharth, what can you give her?
First of all, the word, mind you, the best of public speakers, the best of hosts, the best of content creators have stage fright, have camera fright, and it's okay. It's very real. You know, I started when I was 14 years old, and I've been doing this for more than 20 years. And let me tell you, even now when I get stage fright, whenever it happens, I tell myself, everyone in the audience is my best friend. Everyone in the audience loves me, cares for me, and even if I make mistakes, they're going to be on my side because I'm real, I am honest, and I am who I am. Remember, when you put expectations before you start your stage presentation, you say, oh my God, I'm going to be talking for 1,000 people. Oh my God, you know what? What will happen if my presentation doesn't go well? Oh my God, what will happen if I say the wrong thing? What if I forget my lines? You're already putting a lot of pressure on your mind. Throw that pressure out of the window. Give it to my friend Malka K. Give it to him. And start coming on stage in front of the camera saying, you know what? Whatever happens, people are going to like me. Remember, even if you make mistakes, cover it up in a fun way. You know, once I was on radio and I announced the wrong song. And you know what I did? Instead of trying to cover the wrong song, you know what I did? I actually came and said, oh my God, you know, my girlfriend hasn't called me since the morning. I've been trying to call her. She's not taking my call, because of which, you know, I'm not staying focused. So I've announced the wrong song, but I know you guys understand what I'm going through, because a lot of you may not have received calls from your loved ones. So while I'm trying to call my girlfriend while the song plays, listen to the song. And I got so many messages on social media saying, hey, Siddharth, don't worry. She'll pick up the phone. She'll call you. Doesn't matter. All these things. You know why it happened? It happened because I made a mistake, but I was open about the mistake. And I spoke about it. That means authenticity. That means people are real to you. The bottom line is to get rid of stage fear, fear of what will happen. Just talk as if the whole world is your playground. Just talk as if no matter what happens, people are going to like you, people are going to love you. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay. The world makes a mistake. Be relaxed, be happy, breathe in, breathe out, listen to your favorite song, talk to your favorite person. Like my favorite person is Malka K. I will call him before I get on stage. He'll make me feel good. No pressure. No one can judge you. Neither can you judge anyone.
Great. Okay, so we have Mr. Anirudh Nair asking when you first have started your professional journey, your voice may not have been the way it is now, modulated and articulated. So how did you practice and perfect the art of modulating and articulating your voice? So, interesting question.
All right, I started when I was a 14-year-old boy. So I didn't have a heavy voice. I didn't have the strength of my vocal cords because it gets developed. So you're very, very right. When I was 14, I started my radio career. And at that point, I was trying to put on a heavy voice. So I would say, hey, all you students out there, because I was doing a student show where college students, cool students were listening to me. And I was trying to be, hey, you know what? You're listening to Times FM. And I realized that, damn, I can't do this more than 5 minutes. But because I was 14, I was not worried about making money. Not that I was from a very rich background. I'm not. I came from a very middle-class family, and I'm very, very proud of it. Because that attitude made me work very hard in my life. I still work hard because I don't take any minute for granted. I don't take money for granted. I don't take people for granted. I don't take anything for granted. So I realized that the only reason I'm going to be on radio is to have fun, is to go to my college tomorrow and people should say, wow, he's on radio. That's all. I didn't want anything else. I was very fearless in my approach. I spoke very freely. I was uninhibited in giving my opinions. What makes your personality is when you give opinions, but try and give opinions that don't hurt anybody. Or don't give opinions just because you want to sensationalize your content. Don't give opinions because you feel, oh, if I say it, you know what? It's going to trend and, it could be scandalous. It could be sensational. That is not right. Have opinions. If Malka tells me something and I don't agree with it, I should have the strength to say I don't agree with it without trying to be condescending, without trying to bring him down. Remember that. At the end of the day, you got to take people with you. Yes, you have people who love you. You have people who hate you. You can't keep everyone happy. But from your side, do not run people down. Have opinions. So I was free-flowing. I was having opinions. So what happened was, though I didn't have a rich voice, people loved my style of talking. People loved my energy. So I was being a 14-year-old. I was not trying to be a 14-year-old who's a 25-year-old. All right? So if your voice is not great, it's okay. People will still love your personality and your content. I used to research on my content. I was a 14-year-old boy. I used to read newspapers. I used to find information, put it, so that at least I sound like a guy who knows what's happening around him. Malka, you're doing okay?
Yeah, great. I'm doing great. I'm psyched, actually.
How's your
So
girlfriend?
we have which one? I think so anyway, we will talk about that later. It's not good to talk on that social media. So
Yeah,
anyway,
man.
you get my point. So Mr. Ritik, I think Ritika or Ritika Raj, I think Ritika Raj, and asking, what do you suggest about controlling one's nerves just before hosting an event? Also, how do you keep your composure? What do you suggest about controlling one's nerves just before hosting an event? And how do you keep your composure?
Okay, Ritika, I hope that's your name. If I haven't taken a name properly, sorry about that, but thank you. Ritika, I just said that, but I'd love to repeat it again, is that before a show, I listen to my favorite music. Before a show, I talk to my best friend. Before a show, I have my favorite food, which is like a juice or fruits. I also make my head believe that this show cannot make or break me. This show, if I do well, it doesn't mean I become a star. If I do badly, it doesn't mean that I'm nothing. This show is something I'm going to have fun with. Moment you get nerves, it's because you're saying, oh my God, so many people are watching. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my God, if I don't do this well, will people call me to anchor or talk again? No. You'll always have second chances. You'll always have third chances. But remember, every chance is important.
Yes.
When you do your class 10, people say, oh my God, class 10 school is most important. You may not have done well. You come to class 12. People say, oh my God, class 12 is very important. You may not have done well. So every stage, you're going to get something or the other coming up. Don't make everything about this is going to make or break me, because nothing can make or break you. Only one person can make or break you, is you. And you'll never break yourself down.
Great, great. And we have Neer Bandari asking, how do you get more feedback from the audience? How do you get back more feedback from the audience?
As in, how do you get feedback from the audience?
Yes, how do you get more feedback from the audience?
You know, first of all, when you're doing digital content, if you're on YouTube or whatever, you can actually tell if you're talking about an opinion. For example, if you're talking about free flowing conversations and you say, hey, you know what, speak your heart out. But you know, the other day I was speaking my heart out and things didn't work out right and my friend was upset. So sometimes I guess speaking from the heart is not right. But what do you think? What do you guys who are watching me think? Put it on the comments below. Send me a message on social media. Send me a message on my comment section. I'd love to read it, understand from you. So that way you start engaging the audience. You understand? Like right now, I want to engage with you. I want you to send me more questions. I would be happy to address it.
Yeah.
Talk to me, you know, because you people matter. You're most important. So that's the way when people send you comments on digital platforms, you must also start replying to them. Because when you reply to them, they will know that, you know what, this person cares. Like if you get onto my Instagram, every comment I reply at night or next day. I reply to every comment, unless someone writes something really bad, which upsets me. Either I give it back or I feel that this person deserves to be blocked. Then it's different. But if it's an opinion he gives me and I feel I need to give him an opinion back, I will. I won't hold myself back. But if he uses abuses or foul language, I will block him. I'm open to conversations. So that's how you get feedback. Talk to people on digital. Like, what do I do? Why do I keep taking Malka's name? Because I'm making it interactive with him. I take his name. I get him involved. He starts smiling. He starts feeling great. I feel good because he feels great. So remember that. Talk to your audience. Ask them questions. Ask them. In fact, it's great. Sometimes you can actually say, hey, you know what? I want this dress. And I want you all to tell me, do you really like it? Does it suit me? Put it in the comment section below. I'd love to know your opinion. And you see people writing comments and reply to them. That's very, very important. Malka, my brother.
Big brother, big brother. So we have very good questions. I mean, questions are coming one after other. So we have Miss, I think, Deshani Jayasuriya, particularly asking, how do you maintain your energy levels in hosting or presenting? Your energy levels.
All right, you know what? For me, every minute is important. In my head, I've been in the game, if I could say so, in the field for more than 20 years, but I still feel like a student. I feel I'm one of you students. I don't feel I'm a master in my craft. I don't feel that I know it all. I truly feel like a student. And because I'm a student, and I feel every day of my life is my first day at work. every virtual event is my first virtual event. Every stage show is my first stage show. Every video is my first video. And that makes me feel excited. And when I'm excited, I automatically get my energy. And I believe when it's viewers like you, I have to give you my best. Because every minute that you give me from your life, I value, I cherish. So for me, every minute of my life is important. Every minute I take as if I have to give it all that I have. I don't take a minute for granted. And that's when my energy comes. And my energy comes for the love for life. I love life.
Great.
I love Malcolm
Great.
as well.
I love you too. So we have Sasha Paudel asking, how do you keep the audience enthusiastic throughout the whole video while you are presenting? How do you keep them so enthusiastic? Come on, go on.
That is very, very important in long and short format videos, that one needs to know what their audience likes, what their audience wants, and how does that happen? If you are a person who likes talking long, you like expressing a lot, you like narrating long stories, remember at every crucial point of time, oh, my internet connection, let me get my other Wi-Fi off. Here you go, one sec. And when you end up ending, you've got to give a highlight, which means your beginning, your middle, and your end are your biggest highlights. In the middle, you can be average, but your beginning, your middle, and your end has to be strong, because those three parts, audiences always remember. How I come in, how I maintain it, and how I get out. Remember that. So have pointers which have 4 to 5 highlights in your conversation, which you know audiences are going to take back with them.
Great. So we have Mr. Tarindu Chaturanga asking, when you have a different kind of audience, how do you pitch your voice to them? When you have a different kind of audience, how do you pitch your voice to them?
All right. For example, if I'm talking, I always believe that we all have different sides to us. For example, when you talk to your father, you'll talk in a different way. When you talk to your girlfriend, you'll talk to a different way. When you talk to your boss, you talk in a different way. That means we all have different shades inside us. We all have it. It's about using it at the right time. For example, I know it's a corporate audience, and it requires me to give data, facts about the company. I automatically pitch my voice lower. So I'll be, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This so-and-so bank has had a profit margin of so-and-so dollars. And next year, we're going to be announcing a scheme to take care of employees. When I talk to students, I'm like, hey, students, what's up? When I talk about a project which is truly about emotions, I get soft. So I analyze my audience. I analyze my script. Even sometimes when you're doing a script which requires high energy, sometimes it's also important to go soft somewhere in the middle. And again, get back your energy so that you take people for a roller coaster ride of emotions.
Great, great. So we have Farina Hussain, and she's asking a question. I said, can an introvert become a good YouTuber? Can an introvert become a good YouTuber? By Farina Hussain.
Of course. Because, I'll tell you why. Moment you talk about things that are close to your heart, you automatically become an extrovert. If today, the lady who's asked us the question, I'm sorry, what's her name?
It's Farina Hussain.
If Farina, today you like books, you like music, you like sports, you like talking about human relations. Moment you talk about something which is close to your heart, for which you have knowledge, for which you have information, you will automatically be someone who people will relate to and understand. And secondly, it's not about the number of lines you say. It's about what you say that is important. So even if you're an introvert, you don't need to say 50 lines like I do. Maybe you can just say 5 lines and get your 5 lines to be the most important 5 lines. And remember, when you're talking to people, imagine they're your best friend, like I keep saying that to you, and you'll open up.
Great. So, Mr. Siddharth, we have the last question for our session. We have the last question. It's from Gauravi Harshal, I guess. Gauravi Harshal. How to be consistent in your videos? By Gauravi. How to be consistent in your videos?
Yeah, you know what happens is, like when I do videos on YouTube, I make my audience believe that they matter to me a lot. I want them to know that they can come to my channel on YouTube again and again and again and again. And how will that happen? Is that you have to have an appointment day, which means on a particular day, your video must come out. In my case, it's generally Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. 3 times a week, I put up a video. So then what happens is the people who watch you, who like you, say, wow, Tuesday one video has come, next video is going to be a Thursday, next video is going to be a Saturday. So like this, you end up building your community of followers, your community of fans. For me, I don't call people who follow me fans. I call them a family. So this way, my family, which is people like you who watch me, end up getting people to come to me at a regular basis twice a week. So you've got to ensure that you pick up a certain day. It could be twice a week. It could be once a week. It could be once in 15 days. But make sure you make that into a pattern for people to expect content from you.
Great, cheers. So, Mr. Siddharth, it seems like we are getting so many questions from the audience. I think they are really interested in your energy, but the time is unfortunately limited. But for the audience, Mr. Siddharth will answer these questions separately, and we will give you the answers for sure. So, Mr. Siddharth, we are going to conclude your session, but before that, please tell the audience about your Voice Power Academy. Give them that about your training courses and everything. Give the introduction about your Voice Power Academy. Go.
All right. My friends, I have the online Voice Power Training Academy, where I teach you how to use your voice to leave an impact, not only in your life, but in people's life. It could be one person you're talking to, or it could be millions of people that you talk to. Voice Power Online Academy is very, very reasonable price-wise, because we want students like you to come. We have in my class a CEO, but we also have an 11-year-old student who comes. We teach you how to use your voice to modulate it, whether it's conversational tones, animated tones, whether it's tones of a commanding voice, we teach you that. We teach you in the same course how to be a radio jockey, a virtual jockey, how to do shows and in podcasting, how to create content on social media, on YouTube, various digital platforms, how to be a host on stage, how to be a host on virtual events, public speaking, how to write scripts, your body language, your personality development, everything. And I train you personally online. If we like you and we like what you've done in our classes, we also give you internship, which obviously depends on your performance. Our email ID is voicepower, SIDK, @gmail.com. Please write to us, and we'd love to have you on board. And I promise you, you will see a change in how you are when you talk.
Yeah, great, Mr. Siddharth. And so sorry for the interruption. The link for the Mr. Siddharth's Academy is pinned in the comment section, so you can go there and register yourself. And also, I mentioned that Mr. Siddharth is offering you some kind of a gift for the our viewers. So the winners will be announced soon during the conference in the coming days. So ladies and gentlemen, tune into us for YouCon 2.0. And Mr. Siddharth Kannan, thank you so much, sir. I feel psyched right now. I mean, I don't know. I should give you a hug or maybe a high five to you, maybe with my both hands, I will guess. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to each one of you, your team, YouCon 2.0. Please follow me on my social media handles. I am Siddharth Kannan. I'm a host. I am your friend. I'm a content creator. I'd love to see you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the platforms. Lots of love, lots of power to YouCon 2.0. See ya!
See ya. Best of luck for your future work, sir. So ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the end of the morning session of YouTube, second day of YouCon 2.0. So you must be probably maybe psyched right now, like myself. I got chills. Look at that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, before concluding the session, I have some announcement to tell you. Announcement about our partners. They are our strength in YouCon 2.0. So ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you our partners: Educo Pathway, Pearl of Ocean Front, Shop Here, and Ozone Desk, and Cloud Accounting, Voice Power Academy by lovely Mr. Siddharth Kannan's Voice Grooming Workshop, and ladies and gentlemen, last but not the least, Nakshastral Wedding. So ladies and gentlemen, this is not over yet. We will have joined you at the 4 o'clock session, and for the 4 o'clock session, we are having the content: how to be the perfect vlogger and tips to maintain your YouTube channel properly. So the guest speakers will be Shirisade Shroff, and Priyanka Tiwari, and Chetna Vasis, and Saloni Sivastava. So ladies and gentlemen, you should be there. You should be with the YouCon 2.0. Yesterday, YouCon 2.0 was on fire, and now we have doubled the fire. So join with us, ladies and gentlemen, and I will end the session by saying you this: what the great Mr. Walt Disney once said: if you can dream it, ladies and gentlemen, you can do it. So ladies and gentlemen, I bid you farewell for now and see you soon at the 4 o'clock session. I'm Malka Karyosam. I'm your host for the morning session. So bye. See you at 4 o'clock.
Are you planning to study abroad but not sure what to do and where to go? Our qualified counselors at Educo Pathways will help you select the right program in the right country. We have partnered with world-class universities in Australia, Malaysia, Canada, Ireland, United Kingdom, USA, New Zealand, and Netherlands. We will also advise you with all the necessary documents you need and help you with your visa application. Remember, all our services are free of charge. Call us now to book an appointment on 0772 711 711.